Good to see you.
All right, there, everyone. Good evening, good day, good afternoon, good night, and welcome back to the Road to 100. Here's episode 84, I believe. So we are here in the government outskirts, and we are going to be running up to the Queen's Knight Reborn here, and he is weak to slash, ice, and lightning, and we are going to be running crush. So Crush Lightning. So this should be pretty rough, but we're going to be running Scothic as we have a 1568 light uh, value. So as we pair up with Bridge to Glory and Mia, we're going to have some interesting effects here. Now, Blood Awakening, when it's paired with a gifted weapon, reduces the scaling value by 75% of the base damage. So our base damage is 90, so 90 times 0.75. So we will be reducing our scaling damage by about 68 um, value on scaling. So we'll see that here. So currently our scaling is 1176. So we should be reducing that by about 68 or so, 67. So let's see where we're at now. And now we are at 1108. So 76 minus 8 is 68. So that's actually the formula for Blood Awakening when it's paired with a gifted weapon. Now for this for the pipe, it makes almost no difference. It's very negligible damage loss. However, if we go for this and Blood Awakening again, and see we were only losing 68 off of our weapon before, but if we go for something like the Azure Greatsword, which has the highest base damage in the game, we'll, I want to show that first. So here the base damage is 858, and when Bridge is active, we get 1176 here. But remember, we were down to 1108 with the pipe, and here when we run Blood Awakening, it reduces it a significant amount more. So 858 times 0.75. So we reduce it by 644. So 1176 minus 644 is 532, and that's our 532 of scaling. So for high base damage weapons, Blood Awakening is horrible. For very low base damage weapons, it's almost no effect of any kind. So if you have one-handed swords, typically they have pretty low base damage. I mean, you can see here we have 212, so you would have a very low reduction in scaling here. Here's even better, as you have a very low base damage and very considerable scaling value, and that's because it's intensified from the Heimdall chromes. So Blood Awakening would work really well with intensified weapons, as you don't get a whole lot of reduction. Here's 158, that's really good. So if we look at some of these guys in two-handed swords, 293, so those are pretty low base damage, really high scaling values. So Blood Awakening would work really well for these two-handed swords. Well, for at least the ones that have really low base damage. And for the halberds, you can see that something like the Assassin's Sickle would do pretty well as well, since it has a pretty low base damage there. The Cerulean Spear, these have pretty high base damages, so that wouldn't be too good there. The Impulse Anchor has a very high base damage, that would not be a good one. Now, something like the Hammer of Thraldom, as we saw that, this weapon's very interesting, but this would be a good candidate as well. Um, this one would be a really great candidate because it has a very low base damage and a very high scaling factor. And for the bayonets, the Brodea would be good. All the bayonets would be fairly good, since they all have pretty low base damage with pretty high scaling factors built into them. Oh, the Burning Disaster would be amazingly ideal. Look at that. Look at that. Intensified, and we can even use it. Um, okay, so if we go Bridge, the Burning Disaster turns into a monster scaler. since it is a light-based weapon as well. And then if we look back at this, yeah, we don't lose almost any damage off of that. We lost about 300 damage or something, because of the scaling of how it scales with. Oh no, we didn't lose that much. We didn't lose that much at all. So if we go back to here, and we look 14. Oh, so we did lose about 300 or 400 there. But because this is a mind scaling weapon, it took a lot more mind, or it reduced by a lot more because of the mind damage. Yeah, so the burning disaster, it scales really well, but it reduces really well as well. So kind of interesting how Blood Awakening actually affects your weapons and how it goes. But we're gonna make our way onwards here. Whoops, this does not need to be here. This needs to be this, and we'll go ahead and get everything going. There we go. Now we have Swift Destruction active, and that is a 20% damage increase of the physical of the weapon, not necessarily the scaling. So it's a different way of doing damage, and since it does damage that happens after the scaling is applied and everything, we can go ahead and make really good use of it. Okay. And let's head onwards here. Now we got this big lady here, and so we'll let her figure out what she's going to do. And we'll go for a backstab. And we'll try and get as much I-core up as we can here. Good, we pushed her off the edge, but it's not enough, as she's going to be standing down there. Oh, she's going to run away. Oh, nice shot, Mia. Oh, that's a horrible shot. Okay, well, since she's not going to come back, maybe now she will. And we got a lot of problems here now that we got two of these ladies here, but we'll go for the hammer first. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yep, that was doomed to failure there from the beginning. But that's okay. We should have killed her, but instead we pushed her off the edge. I thought if we pushed her off the edge, we would push her into the abyss, but that was definitely not the case. Hi, Mia. So since we have white Mia, we are going to have double gift extension. So that's very nice to have. There we go. Okay. Now, see there, we do 1832 to these guys. Now if we switch to the fire pipe, we do 1409. So they have a heavy resistance to fire. So we don't want to be doing fire against these guys. We want to be doing lightning or ice, but mainly blood. But since we don't have a blood pipe, this is what we have. Okay. Good. Maybe we get a backstab? No. Okay. And let's go ahead and try and kill this lady up here on top, as should be done, not down below. Because you have a lot more enemies down there, and since you take one hit and you're dead, it's best to go for her up here, where we can get backstabs and dodge around effectively. Okay. And we can kill her much easier. Okay, so now we need to get around these gunners as much as possible. So we will go for this lady. Okay. Oh my goodness. Mia? Nope. Oh. Wow. Okay. Wow. Oh my goodness. Whew, this is gonna be rough getting through the government. we may not even get to the Queen's Knight Reborn. Okay. So, as we make our way here, we want to be using the pipe as much as possible, but the fact of the matter is that Even when you polish a turd, it's still a turd.
Something's up ahead. These guys are always.
These guys are always trouble. Well, I guess they are. So we'll take our lumps here as we receive them. Now, going for a morale boost, we have much more stamina to be running around and dodging and also doing attacks with. But since we don't do a lot of damage with the pipe through here because we need to be doing slash, and this whole area is weak to slash, we are not ideally spec'd out for running slash since we have crush gifts, or crush weapons. Okay, now we might be into a bad scenario here again. Nope. Okay. Okay, good. Whew, I was getting nervous there. Okay, now we need to pick up our haze on the way.
This'll take some effort.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Let's go for a backstab here if we can. Let's go for a launch. Whoops. I dodged right off the edge. Oh my goodness. That was a bad mistake. Oh man.
Going gets tough.
That's right, Mia.
Isn't that what they say?
That is what they say. The tough get going. Okay, so definitely having some issues here with controlling ourselves. But we'll just go ahead and knock these guys down. So since we can have really good damage on the pipe when we're actually striking the enemy, it's really good. It's nothing to joke about or laugh at. I mean, it is kind of, I mean, let's be serious. It is kind of something to laugh about. But it actually is pretty good damage when you're in these one-on-one scenarios. But as soon as you get ganged up on, there's no way to do any AoE. There's no way to stagger the enemy really, unless you get about 5 or 6 attacks in. But to go for that amount of time is kind of dangerous. Okay, we'll go for another backstab, and then if we get the opportunity, we will definitely go for Mia's Camino. Okay, another titanium, that's nice. And there's our measly amount of haze, so we'll have about 180,000, so rip haze again. Okay. Now she's almost as hard as the Queen's Knight Reborn, since we definitely don't want to be doing crush here. But we are anyways. And if we go for this fella, this lady comes in. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay. Oh my goodness. These stupid blood knights. Oh my goodness. Well, this is why a pipe run here towards the end is going to be extremely problematic. And yeah, we are 15 minutes in about, and we haven't even gotten past the first area. So we probably won't be going for the Queen's Knight Reborn today. But this definitely is, you know, not the blood code of choice running Skothic. This is kind of the jack of all trades kind of blood code. It doesn't really excel in any one area, but it's kind of good overall. So you can have a lot of options with Skothic, and you can build Skothic to be almost anything you want it to be. But in the end, you really aren't choosing a monster of a blood code. So it's kind of interesting. But it's nice that Skothic exists in the game, simply because you can turn it into almost anything you want. Okay, and we got this lady again. And she'll probably get focused here as soon as we hit her a few more times. There we go. Oh, wow. Thanks, Mia. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Okay. So, here's what we're going to do. As with most levels that you can't get past, you take the alternate road. And it looks something like this. Okay. And we made it past here. Good. So this is how you make it through the government. Good. Okay. This is how you manage your stamina. Good. Okay. And now run. Good. Good. And we made it to the ladder. Good. Good. And now we are home free. Yay! So that's how effective the pipe is as, you know, a weapon to simply bypass half the level.
I'd say we're doing well.
So if you you can run the Ishtar run through every level in the game, and maybe we'll do a run through like that in the next stars. But it's completely ridiculous that you can run all the way to the end, and it's one of the shortest runs ever because you're constantly just running past the enemies. Gotta get a backstab. There we go. Otherwise, she gets away from us and starts doing more attacks. But while she's on the ground, we can get many more damaging attacks into her. Okay, so we will take the low road this time, as that will most likely be the safest. So we go this way. I'll go for stamina.
Thanks.
What? Oh, there's more monkeys. I didn't think this guy came up. Good. Okay. Now we definitely want to run back around this way and get these monkeys. Hi, guys. Oh, nice. That was cool. We got the change in elevation there. I don't know how that happens or when it happens, but it does happen, and it's pretty cool when it does, as you can just decimate enemies. Let's go for backstabs on this fella, so we get all of our I-core back as much as possible. Good. And Mia's getting backstabs as well, or at least drain attacks, so that's good for her. Now this guy, you want to be doing Pierce Ice, and we are none of those, so that's a problem. And we will need daggers here for the Blood Knight up here. Come here, monkey. Okay. And this lady, you always want to encourage her to kill herself, which is great. And where's the monkey here? Okay. Oh, there it is. I knew that monkey was around here somewhere. Okay, good job. Mia. Okay, let's go ahead and heal. And this monkey. As monkeys are much easier to deal with, and the Blood Knight's up on the top route, so we will go for these. Okay, so since we have Swift Destruction active as well at least to the 10% level, it helps our damage output on both backstabs and on the pipe damage as well, as Swift Destruction is active during the physical part of your weapon damage. Okay, good. And we will go for more stamina. Okay. and let's see if we can beat her down fast enough. Okay, good. We'll get the plasma cartridge and we'll get the pure blood. Okay, and then we're out of here. Okay, good. Now we definitely need cleansing light, but we'll see what we can do here, if we can do it or not. We'll go for a backstab first, and then we will try and beat her down as fast as we can. Okay, good. Whew, 10,784, that's pretty good. Okay, now we are to the Queen's Knight Reborn. As all the enemies up to the midway point there, where you get the ladder, are all very, very strong to crush damage, and we didn't really want any part of that. So we'll go for backstabs here, and then we will go for more backstabs to get as much ichor as we can. Okay, and let's go for more backstabs. There we go, one more, good. Now this should give us the ability to move forward here at a pretty healthy ichor stock count. Okay, good. So whenever you are paired with Mia, you want to go for her communal first, and then everything else, as she reduces the ichor count of all your other gifts. There we go. And we'll do that, and we'll do this, and this. Okay, and here we go. Attempt number 1. Oh, okay, I almost dodged. Oh, nice. Okay. We got another. We got two plunge attacks on him. That was kind of cool. My brain kind of stopped when I noticed that. That was pretty interesting. But you can see that we have a pretty good onslaught of weapon strikes coming from the pipe, because we have morale boost paired with these two and paired with tirelessness. So we have a good chance to get everything going pretty easily and effectively there. Okay, so let's go for gift extension and mind and willpower and morale boost, as those last a very long time. No. I want backstabs on this guy, and only backstabs, as I want to, or drains, because drains knock him down. Okay. Now we're not getting as much ichor as we could with backstabs. Oops. But we're getting a fair amount. Okay. That worked out. Okay, he's dead. So 41, so that's a good way to go about getting yourself killed, but also getting a bunch of ichor before the event here. Okay, so let's go for Mia. And bridge, and this, okay, and we need a little bit more ichor, so we'll go for one of these. Good. And we'll heal again.
I'll be wherever you need.
And go for stamina here. Okay, and good. Let's go. Okay. That side swipe there is pretty devastating. Okay, Mia just died in one shot, and we died. Mia? Mia? Nope. Okay. Oh boy. So Mia does really good damage from distance there, as she has ice and lightning. However, she doesn't have any slash, so she's doing pierce, which is what he's fairly strong to, so you want to be doing slash against this guy. And again, we're doing crush, but at least we have lightning damage on our pipe, so that's at least something we can count on. Okay.
Stay cool and get to work.
And we'll go for this. Now I know I said the other things to go for first, but since we're doing blood sacrifice, we're gonna do these, and then we can go up here, and Mia will give us a double gift extension, and we need to go quite a ways here. Okay, and we'll heal again, and we'll go for Mia, and then we'll go for modest offering. Okay, and here we go. Alright, we got that, and we'll go for more stamina. Okay. Okay. Now we do pretty good damage. Almost got the double dodge there, but not quite. No. Oh. Wow. That is so frustrating when you get hit by the AoE of a dodge attack. Or of a strafing attack. Whatever that is, where he goes forward very quickly. Let's drink some water.
Oh, you're back.
Yes, I am. But we definitely don't have stamina issues this time, as Skothic has kind of a mid-range-ish amount of stamina compared to the other blood codes in the game. So it definitely gives you something to, at least be able to compare to against the other blood codes for sure.
Thanks.
Okay. Now we'll go for Mia here first. So that way it gives us
Don't worry.
more
Got
ichor,
this one.
and also
Thanks.
things are cheaper to cast. There we go. Okay. And now we go for modest offering, and let's go ahead and heal. And let's go for more stamina. Okay. And here we go again. Couldn't get the double dodge. Okay. And he's gonna go kill Mia. There we go.
Thank you.
Oh, now we're dead. Thank you, Mia. There we go. Oh, we got him staggered. Okay. And let's go ahead and unload all of our damage here. Okay. Let's go for cleansing light. Let's go ahead and heal. Well, that was close. Let's go for gift extension. Okay, let's let our stamina recover. Okay. Go heal Mia.
Thank you.
Okay, good. We staggered him out. I don't know where I am at. Okay. Now we definitely need to heal. Yep. Okay. That double dodge is extremely difficult for us to get out of the way, as you most of the time can't see exactly where you're at. But you see, if we just continue the onslaught of pipe strikes, we have a really good chance at getting him taken down fairly quickly, actually. But you got to get into that rhythm of when he's open and when he's going for those strikes to knock you down. Okay, so here we go. But you see, we have a considerable amount of stamina and tirelessness, and the stamina activator actually help us considerably. I guess we could go for this as well. So it's an all stamina kind of run here. Okay, so we'll go for this. And gift extension. There we go. And we'll go for cleansing light, and we'll go ahead and heal. One. Okay. There we go. And one more. And heal. There we go. We're full. And then modest offering. Okay. And then these fellas. Alright, so the double gift extension is a very nice thing to have. It's not, gonna break the game or anything, but it's definitely nice to have. Okay, let's Ooh, there was a double dodge. Okay. We're gonna need some more stamina here. Going after Mia. She dodged out of the way. Good for her. Okay, we are focused, so we get more stamina. Oh boy. Okay, good. The pipe is mightier than the sword. Did you see that, fellas and ladies? Did you see how good the pipe did there? Okay, so we are out of stamina, or out of gift, blood awakening. Oh, and we're out of health too. Okay, let's go ahead and heal, as he's going after Mia, so we can heal her up. Okay, and here he comes. Okay. Okay, where's he at? There he is. Okay. Oh boy. I knew it was double dodge time. Okay, he's going for his eye core craziness. I guess we'll go for this and cleansing light. But does it matter anyways? I guess it doesn't. Okay, let's let him do his business over there. As we will get away from the eye core reductions. If he kills Mia though, we're in trouble. Oh. Where is he? Wow, he's going nuts. I can't even... Oh, I couldn't even see him there for half the time. Holy moly. Okay, let's drink some more water. Now, the stamina regen is really nice, but if you don't have any stamina because you're dodging 15,000 attacks in a row, then you know, it's kind of irrelevant. Now he does slash damage, and our slash is at 48, so it's the weakest of our defenses here, but that's okay. Okay, so the Queen's Knight Reborn always gives us a little bit of trouble on every playthrough, except when we destroy him in one gift from Jack. But it's definitely warranted as such, since he's kind of the second to last guy in the game that you fight. So I kind of understand why they did that, but it doesn't reduce my my saltiness here for this fella. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that, and we'll go ahead and heal up. Even though it doesn't matter, because he kills us in one hit anyways. So yeah, it's kind of a joke in a sense that it's like, well, I'm gonna go ahead and prepare all of this back up here just to get slaughtered in the end anyways. So okay. Okay, now we can go ahead and smack him from the back here. Oh, good. Okay, let's go for a stamina activator and more stamina. Oh boy, here we go. Okay. Okay, good, that staggered in. Whoa. Whoa. What was that? Okay, let's go ahead and heal. Okay. The pipe is mightier than the sword, buddy. Come on. There we go. Okay. Whew. So we actually beat him with the pipe. Most excellent. Most excellent. There you go. So a little bit of bludgeoning to the face here for the Queen's Knight Reborn. And I can't believe we actually beat him with the pipe. I was anticipating a very long, drawn-out battle that would last, I don't know, 2-3 episodes, trying to go for this if possible. But yeah, we actually did it. So running Mia there, having double gift extension allows us access to morale boost for a very long time. So we have enough stamina to be able to, get significant amount of attacks in there on him. And we got the plunge attack about halfway through there, so that was nice for an additional bump in our damage as well. And yeah, we had to kind of run through the first part of the government center outskirts, but those enemies, I mean, there's nothing in the game that says you can't just run through the whole thing and then one-shot the bosses and be done. So yeah, it's kind of an interesting way here that we went about it, but we got through it. Now we're on to the government center proper, where it'll probably be 2 episodes, I would think, to get through there. One to fight Silva, and one to simply just get through the government center, unless we do the Ishtar run again, as we got the Ishtar here, as this is the blood code that you get from beating the Queen's Knight Reborn, and you can then do the Ishtar run through the government center proper. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.